we talked about India and the problems that some of you alluded to, and the minister also brought out this concept that we are struggling with in India about ease of doing business. One thing, those of you who have seen how Mr. Modi operates or how the Prime Minister operates, he has this ability to set targets, real definitive targets, that then allow a very complex situation to be steered in a direction that those targets can be achieved. There is a chance that many of the problems that are surrounding this issue will get resolved or will be resolved, as the minister alluded, in a one by one, but they will get solved as you try, and because you actually are working towards a target.
One thing that is actually quite important and may be a misunderstanding by many people is that we actually focus on domestic companies. So we look at regulations from the perspective of a small, medium, and sized company in each of the 189 economies that we measure. That being said, it doesn't mean that it's not relevant for foreign investors, because oftentimes what we do see is that foreign investors need to deal with the same type of regulations as domestic firms, plus some extra more, than just the basic ones. But we're just focusing as of now on small and medium-sized companies, because this is a World Bank group product, and our focus is more on reducing poverty across the globe. Basically, India is being assessed based on Mumbai and Delhi. Those are the places where we're looking at the business regulations. And we use standardized case scenarios, so we look at different processes and what would happen for a company that looks like this. And in particular, so we look at 11 areas, only 10 of them are actually ranked. So labor market regulations, we do collect information, but we don't actually include them in the ranking. And finally, if there's a dispute between firms, we look at enforcing contracts through court, or if the firm becomes insolvent, we look at the process of resolving insolvency. So, from birth to death of a firm, that's what we're trying to measure. One of the great ambitions is to make it to the top 50, for India to make it to the top 50. I just wanted to show you which countries are in the top 50. And I think they're good and bad news in that sense, that it's highly competitive, of course, so it's not easy to be in the top 50, but there are many countries that India may think, if this country did it, why shouldn't I be able to do it too? So I think there is definitely the possibility of getting to it. There's nothing inherent in India that would prevent it from getting to this ambitious goal, but it's not easy. Protection of minority shareholders within a large firm. And there, this is basically a legal indicator, just looking at what the law prescribes, there we can see that India actually does quite well. So it's probably an area that India doesn't necessarily need to focus in. In getting credit, also, India ranks at number 36, which is actually also very, very positive. But then and again, this is a very legal indicator. And so what we can see from this chart often is that the laws are not necessarily bad. They actually are quite good, some of them, but it's the implementation, because the topics where India fares worse are normally the ones that are about red tape. So having to complete a transaction, having to deal with different parts of the government, different agencies at the state level, at the municipal level, at the federal level. And those are where things get complicated. Normally the procedures are lengthy and are many. So for starting a business, there are 13 procedures in Mumbai and 11 in Delhi, and that's a relatively a high number. So for instance, in Canada, with one procedure, you can get the same thing done. And I think one of the things the Economist was highlighting was the need for comprehensive reform. And I think that is an important aspect, because we see doing business as a catalyst for reform. So just highlighting issues where the government can act on and can improve things. But we don't want the government just to focus on those areas. We want this to start a discussion that actually would lead to broader reform.